Now let's finish out the taillight by using geometry that we've already created. So we've got some geometry up here on the headlight that we should be able to use for our taillight. So let's go ahead and select just this center portion here. And I'll go ahead and just group that together, center the pivot, and let's duplicate that and send it to the back. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and place this in our tail light. I'm going to turn off the cover that we've got there. Go ahead and rotate this all the way around. Let's scale it down a bit. And now we just want to match it up here with the curvature of our tail light. And if you want to do something more custom like we did on the front, feel free to do that as well. I'm just going to push this in here, kind of like that. Maybe rotate it around a bit. And there we go. And then maybe we want to create kind of a smaller one right underneath. So we can just duplicate that and do the same thing. Maybe rotate that a bit and push it into the surface. Now if we want to create a sort of a rectangular piece, we'll just go ahead and create a box, cube, and bring that back here. Go ahead and create kind of a cube shape. Alright. Let's go ahead and get rid of the back, and then we will do some extruding. So we'll take that front face, scale it in a bit. And take those bottom vertices, scale those in. And instead of extruding, let's go ahead and just add an edge loop on this side, and then we'll extrude the top. Okay. Go ahead and add loops right in here. And down here as well. Okay. And then you smooth that out, that's what you get. So if you want a little bit more detail, you could just come in and grab those front faces and extrude them in. Let's go ahead and do an extrude. Kind of scale that in and push it out. And then push that out like that. And you can get just a little bit more interesting detail by adding some edge loops in there. You can smooth that out and get a cool little shape there. Then we can push that back in. And let's put this one right underneath here. And now it's just a matter of kind of rotating this around to fit this space that we have here. Okay, and you have to rotate it a little bit more to accommodate the curvature of the back of the car. Okay, and I'll rotate this around. And rotate that in the X and pull that in, just so it's going to kind of penetrate in there. Now if I want to have some sort of interesting detail down here, I can grab something like this piece that we did up for the engine and pull that down and just stick that in there. You can customize it if you want to, but go ahead and rotate that around. You probably want to scale it down a bit too. Rotate that. Okay. Rotate it around in this direction. There we go. So it doesn't have to be made specifically for this. If you can find something that sort of matches up a little bit, something that has some sort of a detail in there, it can look kind of futuristic. Kind of push that in there, scale that down, and then you can have that, pop that cover on there. If you want to give it a little bit more of an interesting shape, you could bend it by going to Animation, Create Deformers, Nonlinear Bend, and adding a bend to that. You can see if we change the curvature, it's right now bending out towards us. So what we want to do is rotate that 90 degrees and then do that curvature. And we can change the bound so that it only affects one side if we want to. So something like that. Delete the history and move that back inside there. So something more like that. And then you can get your turn the visibility on for your cover. But that's just a quick way of adding some detail in there to our taillights. All right, so in the next lesson, I think we want to move on to the wheels. We've had the tires in there for quite some time, but now we want to create some sort of custom hubcaps and the rest of the wheels that we're going to create. We're going to create some interesting sort of detail along those hubcaps. We're going to have to use some fairly high resolution geometry to achieve that. So we'll go ahead in the next lesson and jump into working on the wheels.